Um, I think that adults are just kids with more baggage. Um, the
Mm.
ego, and you've got wisdom too, but there's a lot of ego there, and you just need to pull it away. And don't try to impress anyone. Try to engage them.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Unfiltered Voices, the podcast that is all about busting the myth that self-published is second-rate. I'm Kellie Nissen. I'm an author coach and a self-published author, and I'll be talking to authors, illustrators, and other self-published industry professionals about their choices, their journeys, and everything in between. So, David Conley, welcome to Unfiltered Voices.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Huge pleasure. I've been looking forward to having you on. So, just an introduction for everybody who might not know who David is. David Conley has been a teacher for 15 years, a dad for 10, and a self-published author-illustrator for 8. In that time, he's released 13 books, which are read around Australia and the world. David's passion for creating books comes from his goals to inspire, illuminate, and educate kids about the world around them and their capacity to understand it. And very importantly, he is also a dog person. So,
Absolutely.
yes, so you've got this whole dog person, cat person divide. I'm sitting firmly on your side of the fence there.
I knew that before I'd even asked you, Kelly. I knew which side you stood on. Don't worry.
Oh my God, there must be a look about us, I think. Anyway, so David, nearly a decade wearing 3 hats, teacher, dad, and author illustrator. I have to ask, sleep, where do you actually get the time to fit that in? Have you got some sort of magic potion you can share with us?
I'm tired all the time. I go to bed at 1-ish. Maybe if I'm really trying to work on a deadline, it's 2-ish.
Mm,
And I should go to bed, but there's just that urge to keep going. And when you get in the moment doing a drawing or doing some writing, you forget how the time is passing.
yep.
So I'm tired all the time. If I had a chance to sleep, I wouldn't take it because I still have things I need to do. So I'm just tired all the time. It's just
All
part of
right.
being me at the moment.
So no magic potion, just suck it up, be tired.
I'm just I think my boys trained me because I do all the nighttime stuff with my boys because the mums should actually be able to sleep because they've got the
Mm,
day duty when you're going to work. Um, so I told my wife from when the boys were born, I'll take care of all the night feedings, and that's actually trained me. So I'll work on 4 hours sleep and be
yeah,
a little bit tired, but
you
okay,
do.
we'll
And
just get
it
through this.
gets into your muscle memory, I think, those late
Yeah,
nights, doesn't it? And you sort of,
yeah.
even when you have that rare opportunity to sleep in, you're just like, I'm
No, I
awake.
can't. I can't because I'll hear the boys clunking around the house, and I'll go, okay,
Yeah,
I better get to work.
dad
Okay.
duties. And you just won brownie points with just about every mother out there listening too, I think.
Oh,
There you go. So,
well, they
David,
can. You know what? They can use this to guilt their husbands and the dads of the world. Get
yes,
up for your kids
replay.
at nighttime. Just do
Yeah,
it. Your job isn't more important. Do it.
absolutely.
That's my.
Anyway,
All right, I'll get off my soapbox now. Okay, let's put that to the side.
cool. So, David, you don't have a website, not one that I could find anyway.
No,
Um,
not yet.
and just as a side, there is a David Conley who does have a website, and this person is definitely not you because I
No,
looked
I've
it
seen
up.
a few of them out there, and I'm not any of them. I'm
No,
quite glad about that.
yes, but you do have an Instagram profile, which is a lot of fun. At that David Conley.
Mhm.
Just tell us about that bit because your books that you've produced have always been that book about,
Yeah.
and I think it's all part of your branding. But where did that idea come from? I feel like there's
That came
a lot.
from being in the classroom and just trying
Mm,
to think of what I could call these books, the book series. And I think I went through Mythic Mayhem or Toon History, or I've had a lot of names that were just awful.
mm,
And then I went, well, what are my kids going to call it when they're finding it on the shelf? Or actually, you know what do kids call it? They say, hey, that book about Greek mythology, bring it over here, that book. So I went, oh, oh, that's the way to go then. And you heard that little ding in the back of your head where you went, okay, that's the idea to go with. When you hit the sweet spot, follow that.
Yeah.
And then I went with that because I thought, look, there's a lot of David Conleys out there. And which David Conley? Oh, no, that David Conley. That one. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it just followed.
I was sort of thinking it would be something along those lines, but
Yeah.
that little bit of advice there about trusting your gut and just
Yeah.
knowing that's the one. That's the one I
Exactly.
want to go with. It's perfect. So 13 books with did I get this right? It was a typo. 13 more to come. Did I
Sure.
just
Why not?
typo? Yeah, let's just think big. 3 more, I think that is supposed to
Yeah.
be.
3 more this year coming
Yes.
out. And then after that, my
Yeah,
wish list is pretty big.
yeah, look, I guarantee there's going to be 13 and more to come anyway. But 13 books so far self-published and 3 more this year with HarperCollins is super impressive. Where do you get all the inspiration? Where do you find your ideas? Where do they come from?
Good question. It actually started in the classroom. It always starts in the classroom with me.
Mm.
I was reading 13 Story Treehouse to my kids.
Yep.
And before that, I had been trying to make a comic book. I was working out, how do I tell these stories? How can I tell stories? And I was leaning towards a comic book that I could release in the local comic book store in Canberra. But then I read this book by Andy and went, oh, wait, this looks really fun, actually. And instantly I knew, no, there's going to be a lot of work, but it's going to be fun work, all
Yep.
of it. So just go for it. Just pushing that work. You're going to be alive anyway. Use that time for something. Let's use it to create books.
Yeah.
And then I spent a long time trying to make the book work. And then, sorry, I've lost the question. The inspiration?
Yeah, where do you get your inspiration?
Oh, okay. Look, I'm almost there.
Yeah.
Give me 10 more minutes. And then I really enjoyed talking in the classroom to kids about mythology. And it actually started when I was doing a PM reading kit, like a reading assessment.
Yes.
And in one of them, there was a reference to something from Greek mythology. And the child I was working with said, what's that? And I had a piece of paper and pen with me. And I went, oh, let me just explain. Look, here's the world and here's Zeus and everything. And while I was talking, the rest of the class stopped their reading and sort of slowly looked, and then everyone was looming in. I thought, oh, these myths still tap into something with kids. Like they tapped into something with me when I was little, and kids still want to learn more about them. And that's when I went, okay, well, I'm going to teach you more about myths, guys. And then when we get to class, and there'd be that 5 minutes at the end of the day where, oh heck, I've got nothing really to do right now with you, and there's not enough time to do something big. Okay, sit down. I would get the whiteboard out and I would draw the myths while I'd talk about them.
Yep.
And I went through, and I started with Greek mythology, and we started from the creation of the world. I think we got to Jason and the Argonauts, just drawing them all out for the kids, not in one session, but
Yep.
and that was feeding into my thing of, oh geez, I need to get these books out there because the kids are gonna love them, I think. And what I'd produced wasn't quite right, and then I slowly looked at the kids and thought, wait, they just want a picture with a few words, because every time I draw, I'm just saying a few words to go with it. That's how I'll make the book. And it's, again, the sweet spot. My brain just went, oh, that's the way to go. And that's how I pushed through with that concept. And I thought, no, I believe in this. I'm going to keep doing this.
Yeah.
So,
And again, it's all like you come purely from that place of what will the kids like? What will the kids like? And I think
absolutely.
being a teacher, you have that instant audience, but there is also other things that you have to consider there as well about marketability and all that sort of thing. But at the crux of it is, you know what, you enjoy this and
Yep.
kids love it as
Absolutely.
well, and you've gone down that path. Is there any sort of unusual or weird source of inspiration that you've found, either for a book that's been published already or an idea you're like, oh, I'd really like to, I think this is a cool concept and I'd like to do something about this?
Anger has inspired me a bit.
Ooh.
In being insulted. I had a chat with one person, and they scoffed at me when I didn't understand something that I think we were talking about politics or something. And I felt a little insulted. I thought, of course I didn't know this. And then I thought of all the teachers I've worked with, because there's still a few out there that look down on kids a little while they're teaching them. They don't respect them. And I thought, okay, teachers out there that disrespect your kids, the teachers that walk through the corridor and say, move, instead of,
Yeah.
excuse
Yes.
me, do you mind? And the teachers that insist on being called Mr. and Mrs. because they think it's a sign of respect. It's like, no, get lost. You don't deserve that respect automatically. You earn that. So those teachers' faces, and there's a few teachers' faces I still picture when I'm making these books, and I go, I'm going to empower these kids to know more than you about this topic. So when I did space, I thought, okay, what's the biggest idea possible? Space-time, the multiverse. How can I get kids to that point? So when some snooty adult comes along and tries to talk down to that kid's going to go, no, 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 no. I know the answer. I already know the answer to this. So, sorry, I'm offended on kids' behalf. I think that would be a good
Yeah.
inspiration. Like,
Yeah.
kids need more respect, and I'm going to get it to them.
Yeah. And it is that mutual, it is that mutual respect too, isn't it? Like if you expect to be respected, then you need to give the respect in
Absolutely.
return. I've always
And
thought that.
one
And
big thing, actually, I had it, and also the word silly. I hate it when teachers use silly as synonymous for bad, which is that they say, you're being silly right now. And the kids, all they're hearing is silly is wrong. And it gets my goat every time, which is
yeah,
my illustrations are informative, but they're also really silly.
yeah,
Because I want to make it clear, silly works, guys.
yeah.
Silly deserves as
That's
much respect as everything.
that's almost like a little catchphrase, isn't it? Like bring back the silly,
Exactly. We should bring
make
back the silly. I should have
make
that on a
silly
book
great again.
shirt.
So I love that. Yes, so now I've lost track of where I'm up
Oh,
to.
you got me on one of
Oh,
my tangents. I got it back on the soapbox for a second. Sorry.
yeah, so listen, I love soapboxes. I used to do a little piece in a newsletter about my, getting on my soapbox, and it was like that little self-indulgent,
Yep, like rant.
say
Well, that's
what
why
you
I'm not on
think.
Facebook anymore. I
Yeah,
did one rant on Facebook and I went, oh, that's a bad look. And I deleted my account.
oh no.
That was like 10 years ago. I just went, no, can't do this.
Self-awareness to realize that is a powerful thing, David, I
Yeah, I
think.
think so.
Yeah, so you've got your books about your mythology and space and all that sort of thing. What about the books that are coming out this year, or at least the one that's coming out
This
next?
year? Oh, wow. I've got it right here. What a
Oh, how
coincidence.
convenient.
Incredible. There's 3 books coming out with HarperCollins this year, and they're part of the Ludicrous Legend series. Where's my camera? And they're created with the amazing Joel Temple, who's of Kate and Joel Temple fame, who did A Room on Our Rock, the Bin Chicken series,
Yep.
and most recently, Mega Rich Guinea Pigs, which he also illustrated. So he's sort of moving in on my turf a little bit already, so I have to cut his confidence a little there. Don't worry. He's not getting away with this.
the David and Joel draw off or something like that. So
If he ever challenges me to a draw off, it's going to get ugly very quickly, Kelly. If you've read 13 Story Treehouse, that's what it's going to look like. He'll say, "Where's that giant banana from?" Bang!
oh,
And
now
take him back.
we almost want to instigate that actually, because that could be quite interesting.
It's going to get ugly. But these books, I love them. They treat mythology like a big toy box.
Yeah,
And
so
when
Ludicrous Legends.
Ludicrous Legends, they come out on the 28th of
Yeah.
January.
And what's the subtitle down there? Myths with a
Myths with a twist.
oh, and
Yeah.
the structure of the book, is it very similar to your other ones?
Not similar to my books. They're similar to Joel. So there's a narrative and then a comic, and narrative comic
Okay.
mixture, which is very exciting because I wanted to start doing comics and I was told, nah, just veer towards chapters. But now I'm working with Joel. I get to do what I love in that I get to illustrate like my hero Terry Denton, but I
Yep.
also get to create comics like my 10-year-old self wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I should say there's a lot of fun. So we get little what on earth. This is probably there are sections in here that are most similar to what I create, which is the sentence with a picture. But there's also just the fun story of the characters interacting with each other, and then the comics, which are my favorite pieces.
Oh, Joel did the illustrations, or did you share that?
I did all the illustrations.
Yep.
And Joel did all the words.
Oh, okay. Oh, there
Yep.
you go. So I was off on the wrong tangent. It's the other way
Joel, I
around.
think I spoke to him a little while ago, and he said it was a bit too big for him to draw. along with everything else he needs to do. So he needed
Yeah.
someone with a bit more of an experienced hand in that area. So
Yeah.
he tapped me on the shoulder, which
Fantastic.
I'm very thankful for. Because
Yes.
when he was reading, he was talking to me about it on the phone, and I was laughing out loud at his ideas. I thought, I can't wait to draw this. This is fun.
Yeah.
So I
That that is
was
so cool. Oh,
thrilled.
I cannot wait to see. There's a great collaboration, I think, between the two of you. Back to your self-published books. Why did you decide to go down that self-publishing path?
Um, I didn't want to sit around for 6 months waiting for a publisher to say no.
Hmm.
And I read about the process and I heard about the slush pile. Whereas if you're an author but you don't have an agent, if you don't have any the publishers take your application and they put it on a slush pile, like just a pile of manuscripts that they might get around to. And if they have time, they'll read it. If they don't have time, too bad. And that
Yeah.
worked for Jack Heath. That's how he got published. He made it through the slush pile. And I didn't have faith that I'd get through the slush pile. So I thought, oh, wait, I'm in Canberra. I've got amazing resources and support here. I'll just print locally and sell locally.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. And
So,
that's sort of how it all started. And 13 books later, um,
absolutely.
here you are. So I mean, perseverance is key, but I think also it
Mm.
is doing what you love to do.
Yeah. And just
Um,
being happy to it's going to cost you a little bit of money to print the books, but it's worth it.
mhm. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not, it outweighs any cost. The benefit of picking up your own book and going, wow, I did that.
Yes.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just
It
picture
is.
your book on the shelf. That's all you need to push you forward. And
Yeah.
it was Harry Hartog that said, yeah, we'll put your book on the shelf. And when I was making
Mm.
my first book, I was just picturing that little set on the shelf at Harry Hartog. And
Mm.
then I found out there's plenty more stores that will do it too. But the Harry Hartog shelf was my like guiding light moving forwards.
Yeah. And
Mm.
you just see you mentioned like, the support in Canberra for all authors, actually, all Canberra authors, but
Mm.
indie authors as well from some of our local bookshops is
Oh, it's amazing. The bookshops and
we're
the
lucky.
authors.
Yes.
The authors and illustrators in Canberra, well, everywhere I've encountered, they're beautiful. It's like a big soccer team, and they've gone, "Oh, do you want to join? Here's a jersey. Just jump on the field. Come on. You're on the
Yeah.
team now. Welcome." Like people
Yeah.
like Tanya McCartney and Jack Heath.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm actually going to name people because all of them have been lovely, and I'm going to leave someone out. But
Yeah.
it's just love. As soon as you say you want to write books, they go, "Great, join us. This is amazing."
It is
Well,
a very supportive community. So just leading into that, what are the key moments or the people, and feel free to name drop, that have guided your self-publishing
oh,
journey so
I
far?
wrote this out. This is a long list.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, let's start with the most cringeworthy moment I still look back on. Um, Andy Griffiths, I'd looked at his books and I thought, these are amazing. These should be a comic. It's like a graphic novel. So I converted two of his chapter books. The first chapter of 13 Story Treehouse and also Just Tricking. And I took them to him as comics, and him and Terry as well. And I said, oh, look, I'd love to do these with you. And Andy emailed me and said, oh, look, we're not really going to go in the comic direction, but thanks for this. And then it was only a few months later that I realized, oh my God, I just insulted Terry Denton by suggesting I could draw these. And so I got his address. I wrote to him and personally apologized and said, this is not what I was trying to do. I'm sorry, Terry. And he wrote back a lovely letter saying, you don't need to apologize for a thing. This is great. All the best. And he and I have been corresponding. And Andy's been corresponding with me. But out of that cringiness, I got one of my biggest supporters at the beginning, which was Andy.
Yeah.
He's the one that said, send me whatever you're making, and I'd love to give you feedback. And the
Wow.
amazing thing was he gave me supportive feedback, but he also said, hey, this idea, don't go ahead with this idea because they'll think you're being derivative of this other thing that I hadn't known about at the
Mm.
time. So he was giving me yeses and nos. And then when I sent him the Greek book, I thought, even if Andy says no to this, I'm going to do it. But Andy went, I love this. Do it. This is amazing. And the
Yeah.
same thing happened with Ursula Dubasarski. I sent it
Yes.
to
Oh,
her and
she's
she went,
lovely.
oh my God, she's
Yeah.
lovely.
Yeah.
And she said, this is amazing. Keep going. So they were my big supporters at the very beginning in the publishing world. And then the few booksellers we went to, the Harry Hartog Paper Chain and the
Mm.
National Library Bookshop, they were the first three I went to, and they were beautiful. They went, oh, these yours? Oh, yeah, sure, we'll sell them. And
Yeah.
then
Wow.
when I discovered the Book Cow in Kingston, and Peter at the Book Cow and Emma in, they were huge supporters, and
Yeah.
that led me to meeting Barbie Robinson and
Hmm.
doing her Canberra Arts, Living Arts Canberra podcast,
Yep.
which was a big step. And then by accident, once I went to the Book Cow to drop some books off, and Peter said, "Dave, come in, come in. We've got some authors out the back for you to meet." I went, "Who's that?" And it was Kate and Joel. And
Oh, there you
yeah,
go.
and then they're showing their books, and I've gone, "Oh wait, I've got their books. I've got that. Oh, these are these guys." And then I managed to get some of my books in their hands for just a cheesy photo in on my Instagram page. But then Joel said, "Hey, these books are pretty good." And I went, "Hey, I've got more." And he didn't say no, so I kept putting my books in his hands till he bought them all.
Yeah.
And then Kate and Joel, they put me in touch with Glee Books in Sydney.
Hmm.
And there's a lovely lady at Glee Books in Sydney called Rachel, and she's like the supercharged version of Peter. Um,
Wow.
you get on the Instagram for Glee Books Glebe, you just see Rachel, just costumes, jumping around. She's amazing. Um,
That's Rachel. I know what you're talking. Yes.
she's
Okay.
she's
Yes.
incredible, and she put me in touch with the Sydney's Writers Festival, and I've been working with them this year on a few events.
Mm.
And then Kate and Joel, of course, they got me a interview with my literary agent over at Curtis Brown,
Yep.
and so now I've got the agent through them, and then they've set me up with HarperCollins, and you meet these people at these big publishing houses, and they're just as lovely as everyone else about publishing.
Yeah.
They're as lovely as the community in Canberra. They've gone, "Come in, come in. What have you got for us? Amazing. I love it." So it's just been a path of love. All these people who I've met
Yeah.
and just gone, "Geez, you're the best person I've met so far." No, wait, you are. It's been brilliant. It's
Yeah.
really good.
I think a lot of it comes from your attitude as well, and how open and giving and friendly you are as well. So I think,
I'll take that.
what
Oh, thank you.
what yeah, take that, absolutely. I'm not going to take it back. What goes around comes around in a lot of ways. But
Yeah.
I also think, like, from what you described as that cringe-worthy moment,
Mm.
the fact is that you had the guts to put yourself out there. And
Oh,
I
it
think
was
there are a lot of people
nerve-wracking.
that go, "Oh, all these well-known people, you put them up on a pedestal." And like you said, they're just people
Yep.
as well.
And they
And
want to hear from you. They want to
the
talk to you.
worst they can do is say no or just ghost you.
Hmm.
Like, there's nothing else, but at
And that's
least
fine.
you've tried. But that one little, like, putting yourself out there and going, "Oh my God, what have I done?"
Mm.
has just snowballed
I
into
might share
where
that
you are
because
now.
I want people to listen to this situation and go, "Okay, my situation won't be that awkward." Okay,
Yeah.
so I went to the 91 Story Treehouse book party for Andy and Terry at the Canberra Theatre. I went with
Mm.
a backpack with my ideas in it. I was so nervous. I sat through the whole performance taking notes, of course, because it was amazing. And then at the end, I waited till all the kids had gotten their photos taken, and I stood at the end of the line of a bunch of children. So I was the tallest by a foot and a half, 2 feet. Um, and I had a little folder, and at first there's their manager staring at me, going, "Oh, what are you doing?" I said, "I just wanted to give them something." And she's going, "Oh, okay." And then Andy and Terry, when they saw me coming out with this little blue folder, their eyes went, "Okay, what have you got for us?" I'm like, "Oh, this is going to be bad, but just jump in, go for it." And I said, "Oh, I've just got these ideas for you." And luckily, I'd typed a message on it, so I didn't have to know how to speak in person because I'd lost the ability to speak. Um,
Yes.
and then I gave them my folders, and they've the photo, and I've still got the photo, and oh, that was awkward. But as soon as I left that area, then I met Jack Heath, and I went to back to human normal mode.
Yeah.
But the amount of awkwardness I had to push through to get to that moment, you're
Yes.
gonna. It was well worth it. So if you find
Yeah.
yourself in that situation, just push through the awkward. It's okay. These authors all want you to reach them. So
Yes. Yep.
go
Exactly.
for
And
it.
like you said, I said before, they're people, and I
Yep.
know some that are just, and most probably are just as nervous and feeling just as awkward as
Mm,
the rest of us as well.
absolutely.
So,
They're lovely. And they've all been in your shoes. Whatever spot you're in, they've been in it and they'll see themselves in
100%.
you. And they'll
Yeah.
say, "Oh, come on, go for it.
Yes.
They're
Yeah.
on your team."
Yeah, no, I love that. Great stories, and I love that cringe story right from
Oh,
the start. Just sort of think,
it hurts to look back on, but I'm glad it happened.
if you hadn't done that, where would you be now? Right.
Ah,
So somewhere,
there'd be a lot less boosts to my confidence.
yeah, yeah, I think so. So back to your traditional publishing with HarperCollins,
Mhm.
in just hitting the ground hard there with your three books. Um, and I know I asked this offline as well, but it was actually written down. How are you feeling about that after being, self-publishing, you're in total control. You
Mhm.
decide, what images you're going to put, what you're going to say, all that sort of thing. How do you feel about not having that control?
Um, I really like it
Mm.
because it's different, but every extra voice that's involved has equal or more experience to me, and they've all got great intentions. They've all got loving intentions towards this book,
Mm.
and I think as someone, I forget who it was, that said, "Oh, are you okay with the feedback we're giving you and putting our ideas together?" And my opinion was, well, my feedback is my first set of pictures. That's my idea. Your
Yep.
feedback is your idea. I want to collaborate. Collaborating is always better than doing it yourself because
Mm.
you've got different perspectives coming in. And I had worked with Kate and Joel on a set of posters for Old Parliament House with Steph Smith over there
Yep.
about Media Literacy Week. So I'd already experienced the feedback process. And I loved that because I thought, oh, I've never looked at it this way. Amazing. Thank you. Like all my books are built on feedback anyway, even though I'm doing it by myself. Every time I change something, it's because of feedback I got about it. So
Yep.
it's like, I'm going to steal Jerry Seinfeld's analogy. He said that doing stand up is like being on a surfboard and
Hmm.
doing a show is like a cruise ship. I'm going to say, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Self publishing your books is like being on a surfboard. It's just you and the wave interacting. And doing a traditionally published book, you're on a cruise ship. Everything has to move a little more slowly, but every move is a perfect move instead of the
Yeah.
little mistakes. I'm falling off my board constantly, but on this cruise ship, you're safe. You're not going to fall off. We've got you. So
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
That's
It's a great trade off.
it's a good analogy, actually, those
He did
two.
well.
So I have to ask too now, are you going to continue self-publishing some of your stuff, or are you,
Yep.
yeah,
I've gotten feedback on some ideas that are fiction ideas that are
mm,
not marketable. They're not going to work in the market. Great, I'll do it myself
yep,
because I really want to do it. And I'm
yeah,
just picturing doing a book launch at the Book Cow in Kingston, Glebe Books in Glebe, selling 10, and just feeling my heart fill up with that. So
yep,
I'll be doing that. And that book series is, now that I've got a bit of momentum, I'm sending that to, it's being considered at publishers. And I'll get feedback on that later this year. And if
mm,
I get good feedback on that, great, we'll move forward. If I don't get good feedback on that, great, I'll move forward and I'll do it
yep,
myself.
yep.
And I've already got 4 books lined up, so no problem. Um,
Awesome.
so I'm happy either way.
So I think you've got those options,
Mm,
and just okay, if somebody doesn't want it, this is what I'm going to do, and it's a
exactly.
nice place to be in,
Mm,
I think. Um, Now you mentioned to launching at the Book Cow and at Glee Books and that sort of thing. So let's just shift a little bit and talk about book launches.
mm,
Now I've been to a couple of yours, and I actually, when I'm talking to my clients about book launches, I'm like, okay, there's a couple of people you have to look at, and you're one of them, because
mm,
your launches lean 100% into your teaching abilities,
mm.
and your ability
That's how
to
it feels.
engage the audience, and that sort of thing. They're a lot of fun. Like, how to engage kids and adults, and keep your audience on their toes, as well. So I've only seen you launch your books at the Book Cow, because I'm in Canberra as well, which is a
Mhm,
great location and a
mm.
highly supportive team there. But
Absolutely.
let's go big. Let's
Mhm.
dream big. What would be your ideal location for a book launch if you didn't have, there was money wasn't a consideration, practicality wasn't? Where
Mhm.
would you launch and why?
There are 2 locations. The first one is, I don't know the name of it, but there's a hall in Melbourne that's one of their main functions for the Melbourne Writers Festival. and it's huge and beautiful. And the reason I would do that is because Andy and Terry, there are some YouTube videos that I watched religiously while I was doing my first book, just to inspire and get, there's my goal. I'm going to move towards that. And one of them was one of Andy and Terry doing a promotion for the 65-story treehouse. And it's in this big hall. Sally Rippon does the opening for it. And it's been the goal to get there to that spot, so I can stand on the spot where I saw Andy and Terry stand and just look around. There's going to be a screen behind me that I can work with. The audience is right there. The stage isn't too high. I don't like a really high stage because I want to walk around the kids and hang out with them a bit. So that's number one. And then number two is Sydney Opera House, because I saw Andy and Terry do it there. And I'm pretty sure Matt Cosgrove has done an event there. And it's big and beautiful. And to say I've performed at the Sydney Opera House would be incredible.
That is incredible. Yes. Yeah. It is one of those iconic locations, isn't it? That's
absolutely. And I've managed to tick a couple of spots off the bucket list this year. Just at the venues at the Sydney Writers Festival in this massive, I think it's like a warehouse, but it's enormous and it's just a wall of noise and a big, beautiful stage. And I was there this year and that was beautiful. I want to go back there as well. So the place I've been this year, I want to keep doing, and I'd like to add to them with Melbourne and Sydney Opera House.
I have to ask you, is it Russ the Story Bus? Is that you?
Russ the Story Bus.
Yeah.
That's an initiative through Sydney Writers Festival where they go around to schools in Sydney, and I forget the criteria for how they pick the schools, but basically they get there, they get kids excited about reading, and each kid gets a free book from this big, beautiful bus. And they invited me after I did the Sydney Writers Festival. And I said, look, I can do 2 days. And I'd love to do more, but I can only do 2. And we spent the day at a school inspiring kids to create their own pictures. And that's how I got to meet another group of 5 amazing people on Russ the Story Bus.
Fantastic. There are so many really good initiatives out there.
Absolutely.
That I think authors, whether self-published or traditionally published, maybe need to be more aware of to tap into, because it's all publicity, it's all marketing and that sort of thing. Plus you've also got, with initiatives like that, you've got that benefit of the reason we do this is for the kids.
Absolutely. Right? I'm there right there with the kids all day. And they asked me, what group sizes do you want? I said, I don't care. Give me as many as you want. 200, 300. That's great. Because kids are great. I want to work with kids. And this is one of the best opportunities to tap in and hang out with the kids.
Absolutely.
And you only find out about it once you start tapping into what you're aware of. And once you get into the world, you look around and go, wow, there's lots of other avenues in this world I didn't know about.
Exactly. And just ask questions and be open to different ideas, I think.
Absolutely.
13 books. You must have a bucket load of advice that you could give to somebody who might be just starting out with self-publishing. I'm not going to ask you to give the bucket load of advice, but
I've tried to hone it down.
just distill it down to something like, oh, gee, if I was starting again and I knew this is what I would do.
I would say, do now, cringe later. So just go for it. And then at the end of the day, you go, I can't believe I did that. But hey, you did it. You did it.
Yeah. Back yourself. Absolutely. Back yourself and just push through. That's all the advice you need. I ask people to give me a little catchphrase or something about themselves. So you wrote down a kids author for kids. And we've already tapped into that. We know how committed you are to this. And I've seen, and anybody else who's seen your Instagram posts knows that you do know how to tap into what kids will love and have fun. But to write authentically for kids, do you think you need to embrace that? You just need to be a big kid yourself?
I think that adults are just kids with more baggage. The ego, and you've got wisdom too, but there's a lot of ego there, and you just need to pull it away and don't try to impress anyone. Try to engage them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of books I've looked at where I've thought, oh, you're just trying to impress yourself at this point. Like the picture you drew isn't helping the kid read this book. That picture you drew just shows off how good you are at drawing that picture, and that doesn't work. And then you'll read certain sentences and you'll think, why did you write that? Oh, you wanted to sound impressive rather
Yeah.
than actually get the kid to read the book. Because you sit with these kids and they go, what is this word? And I go, oh, hold on, let me help you here. I don't know why they
Yeah.
wrote that at all.
Yeah.
So I think you just need to strip away trying to impress and focus on engage.
Yep. And that brings back that authenticity as well,
Mm,
doesn't it? It's like,
yeah,
remember who your audience is at the end of the day. Yeah.
absolutely.
Perfect. And just finishing up here, I think, yes, nearly at the risk of sounding like I haven't read all of your books or done my research.
That's okay.
You said, well, there's 13. You said you're a dog person.
Mhm.
Um, Books about dogs by David Conley.
That's not on the plan at all. I don't know why, because I love dogs. You know what's on the plan? The weirdest idea I had is that book about penguins. Just penguins.
Penguins.
I don't
Yeah.
know why, but it was one of those things where when I thought about it, my brain went, yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
idea, actually. So it's on the list. I want to talk about these big scientific ideas, mythological concepts. I want to go into history. I'd like
Mm-hmm.
to take that down as well. And then my brain just went, why don't you just draw penguins too? Just tell
Yeah.
kids about penguins. They're great.
Yeah.
So that will probably happen at some point.
No. I
Hopefully.
could I could sit and watch penguins for ages. Actually, there's a couple of animals that penguins, monkeys, and boiling mud. I think have you ever been to Rotorua? It's like
Oh, Rotorua, yes. We went there
bubbling
last
mud
holidays.
is
It
fast.
stinks.
I could sit there and watch that for hours. It's
It's
yeah,
amazing.
they're
I
just
love Rotorua. I love all of New Zealand. It was beautiful.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but yeah, I think just animals. I think kids see themselves in the animals. So
Mm,
if you raise the profile of the animal, the kid sort of sees their own profile being raised, and it
yeah.
matters to children. Like penguins are amazing. Kids love them, and
Yep.
axolotls. Kids love axolotls. So maybe I should do a
Yes.
book about that too.
Absolutely. Don't say it out too loud, otherwise there'll be a host of books about out about those things. I think
That's a good
once,
point.
everybody will jump onto that bandwagon.
Mm.
Um, so David, this has been fantastic. Just before we finish up, can you let everybody know where they can find you and obviously on Instagram at that David Conley, but
Mhm.
also where can people get hold of your books?
That's a good question.
Yes.
And fully supplied stores would be the Book Cow in Kingston
Hmm.
and Glee Books in Glebe in Sydney.
Hmm.
And I don't know if they're fully supplied, but Paper Chain at Manuka in
Hmm.
Canberra and Dimmicks Belconnen. I think they've still got a few, and they're on Amazon. And they sell
Yeah.
through Ingram Spark, um,
Yes.
which I would say that's if anyone wants to self-publish, Ingram Spark is your first step
Yeah.
to go. If you're publishing through them, it was Sandra Bennett who told me about that when I was
Yes.
chatting to her at a fete, and that's their help, their resources are incredible. You don't need to go anywhere else at first. Just Ingram Spark.
Yeah. Absolutely. I second that. Absolutely, 100%.
Mm.
So, and people who aren't close to those bookshops that you mentioned, the Book Cow, Glee Books, a few others there, um, they all do online sales, and that sort of.
Somewhere there's one of my books is on sale in Poland somehow. I found that out. So you're not too far away, guys.
No, that would be Ingram Spark, I reckon.
I think
So
so.
doing
Yeah.
that. So, and I always say, look, go for the local bookstores,
Hmm.
go to them first.
Yeah.
Support your locals, I think,
Absolutely.
rather
The
than
bookstores around Canberra and Glebe Books in Glebe. If you've never been to Glebe Books in Glebe, you need to go there. It's beautiful. It's
yeah,
3 stories, straight up and down. The top level is like dedicated to presentations. They've got shelves on wheels that they push back so you can open the whole space up. And there's a store we went to in Melbourne. I was doing an audiobook and we visited, I think it's called the Little Bookshop, the Little Bookstore in Melbourne.
I've
And
heard of
they've got
that.
shelves on wheels as well and a
Yes,
big screen to present on.
yeah,
But yes, support your small stores, shop
yeah.
local.
Have you ever been over to Perth?
No,
If
I
you
haven't
do,
gone west at all.
yeah,
Um,
go to Paperbird in
Paper
Perth,
Perth. Okay.
Fremantle, I think it is. They have a Narnia wardrobe.
That's that place. I've seen
That
them on
place,
Insta.
yeah,
Oh, they
yeah.
look amazing.
So yeah, and they do have a presentation area upstairs, but it is, you walk in, it's children's bookshop. Let's not go off on a tangent, David. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kellie.